What's going on? What's going on, my good people? Extraordinary family. We are back for another powerful, insightful episode of Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. I am your host, Willie Beeman. We are on this author wave. I met this guy recently at our second writers showcase. Definitely had a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Antoine Rackstraw, who's a close friend of his. Man, these are some great guys. I'm definitely look forward to doing some big work with you guys. But without further ado, I have to give him his introduction. He is a proud Fort Worth native and single father of two, writing stories packed with passion, grit, and unforgettable twists. He's a novelist, poet, lyricist, actor, and Texas peace officer, blending discipline with imagination. Author of The Sins of a Billionaire Bishop series, co-author of Addicted to a Texas Cowboy, Police King, and Secrets of a Prison Babe, alongside childhood friend Ernest Lee. And then last but not least, he is a talented sketch artist who visually creates his characters before bringing them to life on the page. Online community, extraordinary family. Let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Mr. Terrell Hayward, aka Mikah Reign.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
What's good, brother?
It's good. It's good to be here. It's an honor to be here with you, man.
I'm definitely a big proponent of networking and meeting people because you just never know what they can lead to. And we had great conversations at the Writers Showcase. I'm pretty sure you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and met some other cool and great authors. And so when Twan was like, "Hey, man, we need to be on the show," I'm like, "Let me reach out to Terrell too,
Absolutely,
and make sure that he gets on." Before we get to, we talked offset about the many hats that you wear, plethora of hats. I definitely gonna get into some of those, but before we get into your background and the creativity and the work that you do, I always like to allow our guests to kind of kick off the show to share their upbringing, their childhood, family dynamics. And so, Terrell, just kind of take a moment to kind of walk us through your childhood as a Fort Worth native.
I was born and raised. Well, I wasn't born here. I actually was born in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. My father was in Air Force.
Wow.
So, but him and my mother were born here in Texas. So
yeah.
I think they moved back here before I was even one. So
Gotcha.
I'm a Texan at heart. So
yeah.
I'm a Steelers fan. So you can hate me if you want to.
My goodness, my uncle is too.
I'm a Steelers fan, and but y'all got Pickens there, so
we did get Pickens.
Y'all might get me on the team in a little bit, but no, I grew up here, and I've been here all my life basically. Ernest Lee, my co-author, is my best friend. We've been best friends for about 45 years. I'm my age myself now. So, and we grew up creating worlds as playing. And once we got a little older in high school, we were Christian rap artists.
Wow.
And we performed at a gospel fest.
That's cool.
And he's a playwright. He's a minister. So I acted for him in a plethora of plays for him.
Cool. So I love it.
And this writing thing is something that we just kind of fell into.
It
was sort of an accident, but it seems to be working out.
Yeah.
So and I'm a father of two. I have a daughter, Carissa, 12-year-old, and I have a son, Noah, who's 25.
Yeah.
And so. I'm actually, I'm not married, dating, but not married. Been married before, but
right.
Other than that, that's me.
Yeah,
that's me.
I want to take a moment to go back. We can't overlook this long life friendship, man. 45 years. You really don't see that a lot in today's society, having long lasting, healthy relationships with those from high school. I have a few in my circle as well, so I think that's very, very important. I guess take a moment to share with our viewers and listeners the importance of having long-lasting relationships like that.
Yeah, I mean, my circle is small.
Yeah.
But he is my longest running my best friend. We pretty much call each other brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
Our mothers were best friends.
Wow, that makes sense.
And one day, my mom brought his mom over with him, and I had my little G.I. Joe He-Man collection, and he was fascinated when we walked through the door because my mom and my brother would buy me toys, and I had every toy that you could think of. And so he walked in and he was like, yeah, that's my friend, you know.
Yeah.
And so we've been partners in this from day one. And he actually moved to Hot Springs Village in Arkansas about almost a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. So we still write together and we still talk every day. That's, you know, having that bond with somebody is extraordinary.
Yes.
It's
that's
a blessing.
That's a blessing.
Because I know I can always count on him, and it's just a phone call away. You know, and it's even though he's in a whole nother state, you know, 5 hours away, it don't feel like it. And you know, last time we went to a book event in Vegas, and you know, it's like we were never apart. So
I want to stay there for a moment before I shift. I guess what being a writer, and we'll get into these books here shortly. I guess what techniques or strategies have you learned from your friend Ernest Lee in regards to your writing style?
Well, when it comes to us writing, we write different with every book.
Gotcha.
And people, that's a good question, because a lot of people are like, how do you co-write with somebody?
Yeah.
How can you both have the same input in, and we write each book differently. Like the book I was telling you about earlier, Fumble My Prized Possessions. It was originally called He Keeps Running Back. And once we went under a publisher, we changed the name. She wanted us to change the name, and we came up with that name. And I had wrote that book when my son was probably 3-4 years old, and we published it maybe 2024. Published it 2025. And I had written the first half of that book, and I had let a handful of people read it, and that book was just sitting there, and it sat there for years. And so when we decided to start writing, I gave it to him. I said, hey, I got this book. I said, why don't you just take it and do what you want with it? And he took the second half of the book and finished it.
Wow.
And that's one way of writing we've learned how to do. And another way of writing someday with one of our books called Police King and Broken Vows, we break it up in chapters.
Gotcha.
You know, he'll write a chapter, I'll write a chapter. And it works great that way because I feed off of him, because once he's written a chapter, I go and read what he wrote. And I'm like, okay, I know I got to come with it. So, you know, there's no slacking, you know, when, you know, I know I got to come with the mess or the drama when he lay down a great chapter. So that works as well. So we write differently almost with every book that we write.
That's cool. Staying in this vein a little bit, like I mentioned earlier, Offset, you are a man of many hats. I just shared in your bio different things that you do. And I think that's great, you know, to be a jack of all trades. You just never know what area that you may be needed in.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's important. So for you, what parts of your background show up the most in your storytelling, even when it's unintentional? What areas show up the most?
I think being an artist.
Being an artist.
I don't get a lot of time to draw. It's probably been years since I've drawn. But I love to draw, but I just don't have the time.
Right.
So somebody asked me, what is your pen? And my response was, my pen is my paintbrush now. So I write like I'm painting a picture, or I write, some people say when they read my stories, it's like watching a movie, because I envision or picture it, and I'm painting it as I go. And it reflects in the cover designs. I design the covers, and he does the title work. You know, so every little part of my background falls into the book writing, you know, as it goes. So I think that what's transitions the most is because I try to get you to, when I'm writing, I get you to see exactly what I'm putting down on paper, and people like, I see it. You know? I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to our books.
I've definitely, as I was preparing for the Writer Showcase and going through all the summaries of certain books and coming across yours, I'm like, man, this is very interesting. But I think it's needed for each reader. So I want to go back a little bit. Where did this desire to write or become an artist start? In high school? Did you have friends outside of Ernest Lee? Where did this inspiration start?
You know, my favorite author is Evelyn Harris. And I got into England Harris probably around 2022. 2002. And I started reading him, and he inspired me. And like I said, I wrote that book and did nothing with it. So I had an idea for a book that's about to be released on the 22nd of this month, Police King.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I had an idea for a serial killer. And I told Ernest about it. And he had an idea for a detective. And so we merged the ideas together and we came up with that story.
I liked it.
And so his detective is hunting my serial killer.
Wow.
And so that's pretty much what the book is.
Yeah.
And it's actually a serial killer. Everything that I've written or we've wrote is pretty much based here in Texas or the DFW Metroplex.
Wow.
And it's, so when we write, we go into very intricate details. We use street names.
Yeah.
You'll see, you'll be like, oh, I know exactly what it is. You know, like
dope.
In Police King, the first murder is in Arlington Lake, right down the street from here.
Wow.
So you'll read, you're like, man, I think I know what he's talking about. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
And we came up with that, and I think that was right around COVID. And we came up with that idea, and it was around Thanksgiving, and we started writing, and it just, not being an author, not knowing anything about the book world, we tried it on our own, and it had a little success, but not the success that we had anticipated. So I reached out to a ton of publishers, and finally, we had quite a few publishers reach back out to us with Alpha Police King after reading it, and we went with one publisher, and that's when we came up with the Sins of a Billionaire Bishop book. So that book happened. That book happened by accident. That was not intentional at all. So
gotcha.
We'll go into that whenever you ever
definitely. It's in my notes. You mentioned the idea of you and Ernest Lee bringing the detective and the serial killer together. It reminds me of, I'm pretty sure you've seen the show Alice Cross. Yeah, on Prime. It's one of my favorite shows, and you see that in that show, Alice Cross being a detective, working with his crew, trying to figure out who this serial killer is. Great show, but if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the show is based off the book Alice Cross from James Patterson.
I think so.
We have a lot of James Patterson books in our catalog, and so that's pretty cool how you guys can have your own level of creativity, but find a common ground to bring it all together.
Yeah, because I don't think I could do it with anybody else but him.
Wow.
And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it.
No, go ahead.
With the publishers, when we first signed with our first publisher, she was like, "I want you guys to write something separately," and we were like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Man, I don't want to write nothing separately because we really was from day one. We was like, we're writing together. Everything we're gonna do together. That was our mindset." And so she was like, "No, I want y'all to write something separately." I was like, God, I didn't know what to do. I had a vision when I was laying down about a murder, and that's where that idea for that book came up, Sins of a Billionaire Bishop. And so Ernest did his own thing. He did a book called Prison Chronicles. It's a book of 5 different short stories, individual stories about prison.
Yeah.
And I did my Sins of the Billionaire Bishop, and that book just exploded from day one. And I didn't anticipate it.
Doing
anything, and it blew up, and it actually put us on the map.
So. Wow, that's awesome. Take a moment. I want to say that since we already there. Yeah. Take a moment to share, I guess, some of the feedback that you've gotten from Sins of a Billionaire Bishop series. Some of the people who read it or
like if you go to my TikTok page, my Facebook page, I anybody who posts a review, I post it on my page. So you'll see their reactions. I want people to see their reactions. This is what I say. Every chapter I try to put your jaw on the floor. with every chapter, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe what I'm reading." You know, it's all gas, no brakes,
No
the
brakes.
whole entire time.
Yeah.
And you know, people like they'll say, "Hey, I'm sending you a therapy bill because you sent me therapy behind this book
My
because
God.
it's just."
Wow.
And I purposely did that because I don't want to be ordinary. I don't want to be like anybody else. I
Yes.
want you to be like, man, you know, I've had people like, I got to take a break from, you know, from reading because, you know, or I can't read nobody else's stuff because I can only read yours now, you know, because I know, I was talking to a lady earlier, you know, since not having a publisher now, I can tell when authors are writing and they're trying to do meet a page count or a word count.
I see what you're saying.
And they're doing fillers. I don't have to do that anymore. I can give you straight meat and potatoes the whole entire time, you know, and you're like, people like, you know, wow. So that's my goal, you know, is I don't want to give you any breaks. I don't want to give you a breather. Yeah, I'm going to take you through it the whole time. So, and that's what people say, man, you know, you out there, you out, and they call me the king of message.
Yeah, I saw that on your.
And I wear the badge because I love that title. They titled me the king of message, and I'm gonna wear that crown. I'll be the king of message if you let me.
Yeah.
So.
I guess where did the title come from? Where did that concept come from?
The publisher wanted us to use billionaire because it's a popular thing in the book world.
That's true.
And so okay. And the original title for it was Secrets of a Billionaire Bishop.
Gotcha.
And so once I left the publisher and we parted ways, I came up with Sins because I could no longer use Secrets. So we just did a swap of Sins because there's a lot of sinning going on in the book.
My God.
So, and I actually prefer it now. You know, it grew on me, and I think it's even more fitting.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the cover is more fitting. If you look at the cover, it kind of tells a little bit more of the story than the original cover. The original cover may have been a little misleading because it has the pastor in front of a church and you know money, and it's not really about money. It's more about sins than the money aspect of it. So
wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the title, man. I think at the end of the day, man, we're human. We make mistakes. We're flawed. And that's we don't always get it right.
Yeah, and that's the part that I've heard people, you know, at book events are like, and I'm telling them about the book, they're like, I don't read nothing that's bashing the church. It's not bashing the church. And my thing is I want everyone to realize you don't put these ministers or people on pedestals because, like you said, we're all human.
We're all human.
We all fall short
of the glory.
Of the glory. And if we put these people on pedestals and when they fall, your faith shouldn't fall with them. But if you do, your faith is going to fall if I put my faith in a man. Because like you said, we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Yes.
And so don't put your faith in a person or individual. Put your faith in God. That's where your faith should be.
That's where your faith should be. Yeah. So, I love it, man. I love it. Thank you for those that watch and listen for clearing it up. Yeah, that's good. I want to transition a little bit, go to you being you currently still a peace officer?
Yes, sir.
So with that, do real life experiences in law enforcement ever inspire your fictional storylines or characters?
Absolutely. Policing?
Yeah.
Policing, absolutely.
Okay,
1,000%.
That makes sense.
I think from learning how to write reports and having to be as detailed as you have to be in police reports, it helps a lot in all my writing. And that's with each and every one of our books has some type of suspense thriller aspect to it. So even though, you know, they may be like Broken Vows is a domestic violence book, it has has some mystery suspense to it.
Right.
So each and every book has some type of suspense to it. Prison Bay, it's in the prison world. So, you know, when I first started in law enforcement, I was a jailer. So
that makes sense.
You know, I get to play with parts of my life in the books.
In the books, yeah. And I think that's very important for people to see the authenticity of your book and implementing real life situations in these books. I think that's awesome.
Because if you haven't lived it or haven't seen it, it's going to be kind of hard to write it. So
yeah. You mentioned earlier, we shared in your bio earlier being a sketch artist. You say you haven't wrote. I
haven't drawn anything in a long time, but I do the covers. I do a lot of the trailers for my advertisement. You know, if you see my trailers on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, we do those ourselves. And Ernest is an artist as well. He can do he does some trailers himself, but you know, he might not say that he is, but he is. He's just as much an artist as I am.
Even though you probably haven't sketched in a while, I know you mentioned, you know, doing the cover art, you know, for these books. Do you often redesign characters visually before finalizing who they are in the narrative? And the reason why I ask this is because when you think about sketching, you think about detail, you think about the hair, the nails, the feet, the expression, all those different elements of this character. And so doing the artwork, are there times where you have to go back and redesign to get it right?
Not necessarily redesign, but it's hard. A lot of AI is involved in doing artwork now. So AI won't get it right the first time. So you have to play with it, you know, a lot just to get it perfection. But if I can attain it in my mind, eventually I'm gonna get it. You know, so it's all about, you know, being specific with AI, and or just being specific, like you said, in the books, and we go in and detail how these individuals look like. And I had a little controversy because my girlfriend, when we came up with the look of Thaddeus King, our detective in the King series, she didn't like the way he looked. But she absolutely adores that book. Out of all my books, she loved Police King.
Right.
And she was drawn to that character, and she's like, that's her crush. And she was like, when we came up with the artwork for him, she was like, that's not how I envisioned it, you know. But it's cool. You know, people have their preference on how people look. So a lot of times when we talk about or write these characters, we're not too specific, but just so I can leave enough, you know, so you in your mind can picture how they look.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense. The artwork, man, is definitely great, man. You've done a great job with all these books. I think appearance is everything. Representation is everything, man. I think that's what can draw a lot of people.
Because you have readers, readers who call themselves cover whores because they're drawn to they'll buy a book just off of the cover. You know, addicted to a cowboy, Texas Cowboy. I don't know how many women have just bought that book just off the cover. You know, or I tell them a little bit about the story. I'm like, it's a young man, he's 25 years old, he falls in love with an older woman. Older women like, oh, I'm getting that book, you know. And so, you know, they're drawn to just a little bit of that they know about that book.
Yeah. We'll come back because we have a lot to talk about. But I want to shift. I know I said earlier about, you know, your acting, and you mentioned earlier about working with your close friend and some of his plays and stuff like that. And so when did you first realize acting was another lane that you wanted to explore creatively?
It was nothing that I wanted to do. I did it because he's my best friend. You know, I did it out of my love for him. Because I guess as I've gotten older, I'm more okay with being public speaking and being up in front of people. But back then, I'm talking about because he started when we were teenagers.
Wow.
And back then, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't like getting up in front of crowds. I didn't like speaking in front of crowds. But I think being in law enforcement and my experiences, you know, teaching classes and stuff like that has softened the blow of getting in front of people and
same here.
And the anxiety, it's not there anymore. And I'm more comfortable now as I'm older. So he hasn't done any plays in a while, but if he did, I'm all for it. I do it. And a lot of people want us to, our books to be plays or series, because that's how vivid we've written these books.
So, I want to stay there. I don't know if you remember author Glenette Nelson, who was here at the Writers Showcase. She's kind of like in the corner. Her book is called Some Hurts Will Be on Tears. And that book is literally based off of real life, parent wounds, trauma, not a great relationship with her son, foster care system, different things that she's experienced. And so for her, she turned that book into a play. And so, and I was in it.
Okay.
That's why I bring this up, only because it was definitely a cool experience. When she first reached out to me, she's like, hey, bro, we go to the same church. She's like, I need somebody to play my son. And I was thinking about you. And I was like, oh no. She's like, I'm gonna give you time to think. She gave me 2 days. Called me back, like, hey, bro, what you gonna do? I'm like, okay, Lord, it's something different. Let me give it a shot. And so, bro, that was like 6 months worth of work. We started in August of last year. Talking about practice after practice, transitioning, emotional, all of that, body language, timing.
Because people don't know how hard it is and the work that is put into plays. Okay. Because, a movie, all you have to do is do it once. It's cut and it's over. A play, you got to go back. You might have to do a play 2-3 times a day, or 2 or 3 times a month. Yeah. And so it's over and over, and it's perfection, and you have to know what to do when somebody misses their line.
Oh, bro, that was the challenge.
It's difficult. You have to be able to change gears in an instant.
Yeah, quick. Yeah.
So I totally understand.
A lot of experience.
Yeah.
But the challenging part for me was, so in her play, her son was this, mid-30s, late 30s, a guy who's trauma wounds, rejection, abandonment, all these different things, rage, anger, all these different emotions built up. And so me in real life, I'm the total opposite. I'm a guy who's cool, calm, collected, non-confrontational. I stay to myself. I get to know people as as we grow. And so having to shift and play this character and display that, man, bro, that was a challenge. But I definitely I tapped in, and like you mentioned earlier, doing multiple shows. We did 5 shows. We had a show on Friday night. We had a show Thursday night, which was opening night, and on Saturday we had 3 shows. Yeah. So, like you said, the consistency in doing multiple shows.
Because it's not gonna go perfect.
Nah.
so you have to anticipate it's not gonna go perfect, and it's not easy when because you have to change gears and somebody miss a line or somebody don't come out on time.
Yeah.
So like I said, acting's a little different, in front of a camera, because they can cut that scene out and go back and redo it.
And live audience.
And that's the difficult part. And you got eyes watching.
Oh, bro. They open at night. Like, Lord,
you look out there, there's 1,000 people, and you like, oh, okay.
Yes. So, all 5 shows are sold out. It was amazing. So, I was definitely grateful to be a part of the experience. She's already working on her 2nd play for one of her books. And so, definitely wanted to get into that because I know you have experience in that as well. And then another cool side of that was my pops was in the play.
Okay.
Yeah, he played a guy named Malik, was kind of like a father figure to me. Dated Gannett, whose name was, I can't remember her name in the play. But my pops came in last minute. But I didn't know years early on when I was younger that he did plays with churches and stuff like that. So I learned a lot about him, and so he was in one of my scenes, and it was a cool experience. Bro,
absolutely. That had to be cool. You did that with your pops.
But everybody hated his character because that's how he was. But that shows he played his character well. You played his character to the T. So going back to these books, will there ever be a time to where you will turn any of these into plays? There's some.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the end goal for us, is have them on as a play or or as a movie or a series, either or.
Yeah.
You know, that's the end goal. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go back and tap into what you were saying about being playing a character that's different from you.
Oh yeah.
It's like writing a character that's different from you, like Detective King. I'll go back. That's probably one of my favorite characters.
Right.
Detective King is a outstanding detective, but he's a horrible father. He's a horrible in his relationships, and we purposely wanted him to be flawed because I don't want a person not to be relatable. You know, if you can't have somebody who's a hero or a detective, you know, and he don't have no kryptonite.
Yes.
So you know, you have to have a flaw. You know, and with Andre, in Fumble My Prized Possession, great athlete on the field, horrible partner in relationships.
Wow.
Okay, dad, but his father was horrible. And the more that he tries to not be like his father, the more he's going down that path,
Gotcha.
being like his father. And I think a lot of black men, we do that. We try so hard not to be like, if you had a bad father, you try not to engage in what he engaged in,
right.
and we end up on that same path. And I think that happened to a lot of us who did, you know, whose fathers were absent or who was present but wasn't present.
Yeah,
as
that
you
makes
know.
sense.
So
yeah.
But yeah.
I want to stay there. Antoine talked about on the show when he was on here last week. You know, building relationships. You know, with his kids. He remember he talked about taking them on bike rides, taking them on train station rides, just building those bonds and showing them different parts of how you can enjoy the simplicity of life. And so, for you being a single father, how has that helped you become a better father with your children?
With my son came to live with me full time when he's about 8 years old, and I had him full time until he went to the military, and it was a blessing because he was a blessing to me, you know, because before he was born, I wasn't on the right path, and he changed my life. And my daughter, me and my daughter's mother was married, but before she was born, we got a divorce. And I've learned with her mother how to co-parent, and we co-parent really well together.
Yeah.
And I get my daughter 3-4 times a week, and I love it. The relationship I have with my daughter, you know, she's a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And my father wasn't the best, so I go out of my way to be the best.
Yeah.
So that's with her and him. You know, I love my children to death, and they're my heartbeat.
Yeah. I love it. No kids for me yet, but we'll get there soon. I've been married for 14 years.
You don't have no little girl. I can tell you right now, you will be a broke man. You can never. I was always able to tell my son, no, you can't have that. But my daughter, she look at me with them puppy dog eyes, and I'm like, no, don't get it. You know. So
that's awesome. Staying right there with your children, what are some things that you felt like you've learned from your children? The reason why I ask is because a lot of times we know the parents' job is to teach the child and to pour into them and raise them up and keep them on the right path. But we don't really hear a lot about how parents can learn certain things from their children to help them grow as human beings. So what are some things that you feel like you've learned from your kids?
Unconditional love. I believe in my belief, I believe your children are the only people who will love you unconditionally. From the time they are born, they have no reason to love you, but they love you. Your wife loves you for a reason because how you treat her, how you date her, whatever. Your parents almost have to love you because but your children it's just pure.
Pure love.
It's pure love, and that's the only people in your life that the love has no attachment. It's just pure and for you.
Yeah.
You know, and you see it where it's almost like, you see these kids and they're being abused by their parents, but they still love them. and that love is unconditional because they don't know not how to love you.
Yeah.
So I think a child's love for the parent is unconditional.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the only person on the planet who will love, and that's a godly love.
Yes.
You know, and that's the way our love should be for God. It should be unconditional.
I totally agree. I totally agree. What are some things that I guess walk us through some of the most memorable experiences that you've had, you know, with your children that you hold dear to your heart?
Just watching them, man, is the birth and just watching them become their own person.
Yeah.
Watching their, and then seeing some of yourself in them, you know. And at first, I looked at my son, and people were like, "Oh, he looks just like you. He looks just like." And I'm like, "He looks like his mom." My daughter, I'm like, "She looks just like you." And I'm like, "No, they look like their parents." And then I go back and I start looking at pictures of them. I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." I see it, you know. But just watching them become their own individual persons and having their own thoughts and being their own person, it's. I can't tell you. I'm speechless at it because it's undescribable. You know, and so when you, like I said, when you do have yours, it's the biggest blessing that God can give you, man. Your kids, it's nothing like it.
I love it.
No experience like it on this world.
Yeah. With your kids, do you see them going down, I guess, the same path as far as like being a writer, or author, or a poet, or actor? Do you see some similarities, or are they charting their own way?
I think they're charting their own way because, you know, I would hate for them to to follow my path because I see parents, especially like in sports, because I grew up playing football, basketball,
right.
And I see men and women, you know, they force these sports upon their kids, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna let them choose what they want to do. Or, you know, like my daughter, we had her in swimming, and she adores the water.
Wow.
I can't swim for nothing, but you know, and so let them be their own individual people, you know, their own individual persons, and not put my dreams into them. Let them create their own.
Yes, so. That's so important. I've had conversations with some of my brothers, Troy, Tez, and Terrell, of how a lot of times you mentioned a lot of parents try to live vicariously through their children. Just because I've done it, I'm gonna force you to do it. No, whatever they choose, support them.
Exactly.
Let them carve their own lane.
Yeah, like my daughter, she did gymnastics for a little while. So just let her explore, be her own person. You know, my son, I didn't force him into sports. He ran track. I ran track a little bit, but you know, football, I didn't force football or basketball down his throat. You know, if he gravitated to it, cool, we could go that route. But, you know, he didn't gravitate to it. He gravitated to track, and he ran track for a little while. And, you know, I've supported him in whatever it is he wanted to do.
Yeah. That's definitely important. For you, knowing that you have children and, you know, raising them to the best of your ability, supporting them, what would you tell the younger Terrell Hayward? What would you speak to that young man?
I would tell him to be more forgiving.
That's good.
Because, you know, I've learned as we get older, you know, a lot of times you don't get to the opportunity to mend relationships, or just I wouldn't even say mend them, but just to end them properly, you know, because people, like you said, people make mistakes, and all of us are human, and none of us are perfect.
True.
And, you know, and I've learned over the years to just let some stuff go, you know.
Yes.
It's not that serious, you know, and a lot of times we you know, get emotional and, oh, she cheated on me, or, you know, none of us are perfect.
True.
And this is one of my sayings. Your most expensive thing that you will spend on this planet is probably your home. The most expensive purchase that you will have is your home. Your most investment that you'll make relation-wise is your spouse. So you should treat your spouse like you treat your home. You will have storms come hit your home.
True.
You might have a burglar come. You don't get up and move. You fix it.
You fix it.
You go get security. You go get a new roof. You know, kitchen catch on fire. You have contractors.
Right.
Same with your relationship with your spouse.
That's good.
Get some counseling. Fix it. Don't walk away from it. You know, put some effort into it. If you haven't walked away from it, if you're not being physically abused or mentally abused or you know, it can be fixed.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at life now.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, you know, you should always look at your marriage.
Yeah.
As it's fixable. As long as nobody putting no hands on each other, you know, anything can be fixed.
I agree.
You know, especially with God.
Yes.
You know.
It was the centerpiece of my marriage too, man. It's definitely been a blessing. Shout out to the wife and to me. Yeah, that's my best friend, man. One thing that she said that was profound. We was talking about marriage and relationship, and she was like, when it comes to marriage, there's going to be issues, there's going to be problems.
Absolutely.
But she was like, how we approach it is basically husband and wife coming together to attack the problem rather than husband and wife fighting each other and neglecting the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, you know, at the end of the day, it's the art of partnership, man. We're a team.
Yeah, you're one.
Yeah, you're one.
And that's, I think a lot of people get married because they believe that's the end of all problems. No, that's the beginning of problems. You know, that's, you know, it's like a roller coaster. You're going up and you're on a high, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're going down. And that's marriage. You're gonna have roller coasters, and
I agree.
every day you don't wake up in love. You don't wake up in love. You know, you're mad and don't go to bed mad at your spouse.
Yes.
When I was married, I'd go in another room and go sleep in another room because I was mad. Then go in the room and embrace your wife. I'm sorry. It don't matter who. At the end of the day, it don't matter who was in the wrong. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that serious. Let it go.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. Got to come together and fix that.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is good. Going back to your writing and you being this author for a long period of time, different genres, different approaches to how you write, which is definitely amazing. I think it speaks to your level of creativity and what the Lord has put on the inside of you to give out. I shared this with Antoine last week about gifts. The Lord shared me. He was basically saying that gifts are meant to be utilized and not left in wrapping paper. And so you think about something that you see value in and not value for, you're not going to leave it on the shelf. You're going to open it up, you're going to put it to its natural use. And so, you know, the gifts and the creativity, you know, that God gives us, it's our job to pour out and share it, you know, with the world and with different people. And so what's your creative process when writing with long-time friends versus writing solo? You mentioned earlier how you guys approach writing together, but what's your process in regards to writing?
When I write solo, it's completely different. When I sit down and write solo, it's almost like freestyle rapping. I can sit down and not know what I'm about to write, and it just pours out of me. And sometimes when it's pouring, it's pouring. Like a thunderstorm. It's coming down, and then other days it's trickling out.
I like that.
With me, I don't. When we write together, we have a plan, or whatever. But when I'm writing by myself, there's no plan. And I like having that freedom, you know, to do as I please, you know. But then I like having structure when we write together. Because like I said, we feed off each other. So when I'm writing a chapter by myself and I go back and read that chapter, I have nothing to feed off but myself.
That makes sense.
So it's both are a blessing, but you know the processes are different, but it's the end result is still the same. You know?
Another thing that I saw, of course, in your bio is you being a poet. And
in Police King, after each chapter, but after a few chapters, there's poems in throughout the book. So we purposely did that to showcase our poet. He's more of the poet than I am, but I did it. You know, he asked me, "Hey, give me some poems, and I get it. He's the more when it comes to writing. When we write, I'm more the I guess loose cannon.
Yeah.
He's more the the more detailed. And, he'll put in the intricate details of the crime scenes and the mystery and whatever. And I'm coming in. I'm bringing in the wild aspect or whatever. Like last night we were talking about the next Police King book, and that'll be the 4th book. And it's just the next book is gonna be wild. Whew. The next book is gonna be really, really wild, because I think I bring in a little bit of the wildness of the Bishop book into the police killing series. So, and I think he's embracing that part too.
Yeah, so. This ain't even my questions, but it's like you've written so many books, and I know you're still on the go, and I know there's more work for you to do. Mm-hmm. For you, what keeps you going? What keeps the consistency? What keeps the battery in your pack to keep you going and writing?
It's the fans.
Yeah.
It's the fans. People like Ant will tell me all the time. He's like, man, you famous. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not famous. I just got more. This is my line. I don't know how much you know about Outkast. Oh, I got more fans than the average man, but not enough loot to last me to the end of the week.
I think I can remember that line.
And I got more fans than the average man. Yeah. But I'm still broke, and this hasn't transitioned into any money for me yet. So so I understand now what he meant in that line.
Wow.
So but no, the fans, the feedback I get from the fans, they're like, hey, I've had people ready for the next Addicted to a Character book. The next, I can write a book in they'll read the book in 3 hours and where's the next book? And I'm like, I just spit the guy, that's too much right this one. You ready for the next book? I'm like, can I take a breather? But I love it, because they're just that passion. And I have other authors, like this author, her name is Tia. She, shout out to Tia. She went out and bought my whole catalog after reading Sins of a Bishop. She got a video of when she got her stash. She like, this is Messy Month Mikah for her Messy Month May. And that's what she called it. And she reading my whole catalog for this month. But that's awesome. That's it's just an honor to be in that spotlight for some people.
That's good. Nah, bro, there's this quote, I follow a guy, business leader, spiritual leader, Dr. Darius Daniels, Change Church in Atlanta. And he always says that the highest level of compensation isn't money. The highest level of compensation is fulfillment. Yeah. And so for you, from what I'm hearing is, the fulfillment of it. Yes, the money will come in due time, but you have a passion and a love and a joy for it. Yeah. And so same for me here. I'm not getting paid big bucks to do interviews with people, but I have a joy and a passion to sit down and have dialogue and get to know people from all walks of life, man. This journey has definitely been a blessing. And so a lot of times, a lot of people can become fixated because I need the next dollar. Yeah. I need to pay this bill, pay that bill, and not enjoying the process of what they're doing. Yeah. So.
For me, it's not about the money because, authors don't make a lot of money until you get a big publishing deal or get a movie deal or a TV deal. Yeah. But so right now, the passion is my love for the fans and the love for the books and just watching their expressions. I've sat in where I don't know if you've seen people on TikTok. They'll have reading sessions. Yeah. And I've sat in on reading sessions while people are reading my book. While book groups are reading my book, and this might be anywhere from 5 to 10 readers, and they're reading my book all at the same time. Wow. And I'll sit in, and they'll invite me to sit in, and I'll watch. And just to watch their expressions. That's awesome. It's priceless. Yeah. Because they're like, oh my God, then you hear one of them, wait a minute, I didn't know what what are you talking about, dude? You see that person get to that point, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. I had more, that's speechless for me. 'Cause that's so much fun, just sitting in while they're reading one of my books.
That's cool.
You know,
I love that.
And they'll sit there and read, and I'll sit there the 3-4 hours while they read my book and just watch them read my book just to see the reaction.
Wow. That's important, bro. To me, what I see is having the ability to not only to enjoy it as a fan, but building the relationships with your fans and getting to know them with your artwork. Because a lot of times we could just be doing things, we don't realize the impact that we're having on our fans and those that we're a part of our journey. So to sit down with them and embrace that process, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I might not always be there. If I do become really famous, I might not always be able to do that. So I want the ability to do that now while I still can. Because it may come a time where I can't. As long as I can, I will.
I'm available.
So they let me know, hey, we're gonna be reading your book. Can you tune in? Yeah, I'm there. You know, let me know when.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Speaking of your writing, have you or do you plan on hosting, I guess, any like writers workshops to help up-and-coming authors?
I would love like meeting Anton. I think that really is something I embrace because he was new to the book world.
Yeah, he talked about that.
I knew how it was in the book world, and a lot of people don't give you any help. And so I wanted to give him everything that I knew.
Yes.
And give him all the connections that I had.
I love that.
And there was a few people out there that did help me, like an author and podcaster, her name is Storm. I just reached out to her, and shout out to Storm. Reached out to her, and she read our book. She read, he Fumbled My Prized Possession, and it was He Keeps Running Back at the time. She read it, gave me the feedback that I needed, and we've been like this since day one. And she introduced me to her friends, which, Booked and Busy. That's another, Nicole. She's another person. She reads everything that I put out.
Wow.
She's a person I can call and say, hey, I'm getting ready to release this book. Can you read it for me? And she'll read it for me. If she likes it, she'll do a review, and I'll post a review.
Wow.
And she's always, somebody I can call and say, hey, check this out. There's not a lot of people that you can pick up the phone or send a message to that will do that for you.
That's awesome. Having a support system is definitely needed, man, especially, in the author community. You don't really see a lot of it, paying it forward, like you mentioned earlier. Antoine getting in, not really knowing what to do. You talked about it at the Writer Showcase and giving him the resources and connections to help him grow too. Because it's not meant for us to keep it to ourselves. Man. If we got it and we can share it.
Because it's a lot of us, not just in the book world, but just a lot of people who have that crab mentality. I don't want you to be better than me, so you got to come back in the pot. No, I want to pull you down to where I am. I can't share my information because I don't want you to be greater than me. I'm going to give anybody who's an author or writer any information that I can to help them become a better writer. So, I have no problem. Hey, like Anton, I was telling him, hey, why don't you tweak this with your, I seen some stuff with his book, and I was like, the format's off. You need to talk to whoever edited, just to let them know.
Good feedback.
Just little stuff like that can, because some people may get in and be like, look, I'm not going to read that just because of format. You have people who are readers who are very particular.
So I want to shift again. So I'm pretty sure you heard me earlier. My alter ego, Willie Beeman. I'm pretty sure you know the movie. Any Given Sunday. I got the jersey and everything. So people been calling me that for years, so I just stuck with it. But for you, it's Mikah Reign. So kind of share with our listeners and viewers the concept with this name.
Mikah Reign. I took the biblical Micah and put a K in front of it. So
gotcha.
Like Storm will always call me Makai. That's our running joke. She's the first person to introduce me to the book world. She calls me Makai. And everybody's like, why she get to call you Makai? I was like, that's just us. She's the only person who can call me Makai, but it's Mikah. But I came up with that name it was just a whim. I liked the way it flowed.
So yeah.
And a lot of people don't use. I was talking to my Ernest the other day, and I was like, should I drop the Reign? Because nobody calls me Mikah Reign. They just call me Mikah. You know, I get on a couple of days ago. I was on with a book group. And I was just in there live, and they were like, "Hey, that's Mikah. That's Mikah. There's Mikah. There's Mikah." You know, and people just call me Mikah, and it's just sticking. You know? So my best friend was like, "No, keep the Reign. That's where it started. Let's keep it." So I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah. I think you should. I like the Mikah Reign. That's definitely unique and it's definitely different. Let's get into some more of these books. I know you mentioned Offset. One of these books, you were sharing a story of a kid, I believe, going to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. That is from my prized possession.
Okay.
He's actually a Fort Worth native. Grew up playing football. Went to Texas State University. Gets drafted in the NFL. Makes it. He's the number 1 pick, and he has a high school sweetheart. And once he gets to college, the relationship gets troubled.
Yeah.
He meets another young lady in college, and he falls for the other young lady. In the process, he's still going back and forth between the two women. And while he's in the NFL, he ends up shot the night of the Super Bowl. And I think both of them are there. Wow. And so that's what we start you off at, is when he gets shot, the night of him getting shot. So with all our books, we drop you in hot.
Yeah, you drop hot.
And so, great. Like I said, there's no page fillers. It's all meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my baby. You know, that's the one that started out for me, my love for writing. So that's the book. Like I said, that's one of the books that's kind of relatable, because you'll see us talk about areas and certain landmarks, and you're like, oh, that's there.
Yeah.
You know, so you'll see it in that book as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. From the title, Fumble My Prized Possession, in your own personal life, for you, what do you feel like that you fumbled that you know you had in your prized possession and didn't take care of it in the series?
Well, a lot of relationships, not just loving relationships, but friendships. Just relationships in general. Like I was saying, me and Ernest, our mothers were best friends.
Right.
They passed about 3 years apart.
Wow.
So when both of them passed, we really seen how much of a bond they had. You know, because they had similar bond. They didn't talk every day like us, but their friendship was always always tight. So I remember when my mom passed, and I called his mom to tell her. She didn't believe it. She was like, she's like, why are you playing? You know, and so it was surreal for her. And then to watch, because my mom died suddenly, and his mom was sick with cancer. And so I had to watch him and her from a standpoint is watching my brother watch his mom suffer and watching his mother suffer. I didn't have to watch mom. I think God prepared me when me losing my mom helped me prepare him in the process of losing his mom. So I think we leaned on each other throughout the process.
Wow. That's awesome.
But no, that book is my baby.
Yeah. That reminds me of a scripture that says, a friend loves at all times and a brother is born in adversity. And so you really get to know who your real friends are when you're going through those seasons of adversity. When you're going through those valley and those dark experiences, you really get to see who's really in my corner. Who's really gonna pick up the phone and call or pull up on me or take me out to lunch or get me out the house, whatever it is, to lift me up. And so having a friend like Ernest, man, is and that's values. 45 years, you don't see that.
Yeah, because without him, none of this would have happened.
Wow.
You know, so that's my day one. That's my dog.
Yeah.
So
let's get to the one to the right, Secrets of a Prison Babe, man. Tell me a little bit about that.
Secrets of a Prison Babe is actually a lot of people is kind of weird. It's actually a spinoff of Police King. Even though Police King ain't out yet, it's being re-released. Secrets of the Prison Bay is one of the characters from that book ends up in prison, and it starts with the part one starts with her at a young age. Well, actually, from birth, it starts with her parents, and then her growing up with her uncle who's involved in the drug world, and her watching, and he adores her, and her mother she's married, but she's not in love with her father, and her father is weak, but her father is smart. And her love for her father, she learned from her love from her father. She learns how to grow marijuana and get involved in drugs, and so she is a manipulator from the time she is about 8-9 years old.
Wow!
And she manipulates her way all the way into prison. At the age of 16. By the time she's 16, she's a mother of 2 twins, and she's behind bars.
Wow.
And and then part 2 is about the actual prison guard, the supervisor, who she ends up being a guard for her. And her story is probably one of my favorite stories. Her name is Destiny. Destiny grew up in Houston, and she played basketball for Yates, and she's a state champion. But not knowing that she was in remedial classes, and she has all these scholarship offers, and she can't go to college because she can't go to Division I school because she didn't take the classes to make it into a Division I school. Yeah. And she has all these scholarship offers, and she can't accept none of these scholarships because she doesn't meet the criteria. So she ends up going to junior college and falling for this guy in junior college who is a piece of work, to say the least. And she goes through hell and back. And she ends up falling out of love with basketball after him and his brother and her roommate do some terrible things to her and put her through it. Because she grew up in a sheltered environment. Her father was a pastor, and her mother was a first lady, and she grew up in a small neighborhood, and so she was very, very sheltered and very naive. Versus, she's the opposite of her. Because she's very smart from a young age. Wow. And she's not very, street smart at all. Wow. And so when she gets played, she falls out of love, and she ends up working in a women's prison. And all that bitterness that she has, she implements and pours it out on her prisoners. And so part 3 is about a young lady who's working for her in that jail, and she gets played by the inmates. So
wow, that is a deep.
So yeah, those stories. I hate saying I have a favorite because I really don't. Because once I start thinking about the stories and how they're written, I actually don't have a favorite because they all have a special place in my heart. They're like your kids. You can't have a favorite kid. But this one is my favorite when it comes to this, and this one's my favorite
when it comes to this.
That book is very deep. Those Prison Bay books are very deep and a very emotional roller coaster.
Going back, I know you mentioned earlier of highlighting certain DFW landmarks in your books. Why do you think that was necessary for the reader?
Because like when I had a reader that was reading Sins of a Billionaire Bishop. She was reading it, and I think she said she lived in Forest Hill, actually.
Wow.
And she was reading it. She was like, I know exactly what he was talking about. It was right down the street, around the corner from me. And I wanted readers who were from this area to be able to say that and say, hey, I know exactly what he was talking about. Or the bishop. People say, who are you specifying when you talk about this bishop? Are you talking about somebody who's really real? Yes and no. Because what I did was, he's a gumbo. And what I mean by that is, I took a bunch of stories that you heard about different pastors and bishops,
I love that
and I just poured all of them into one. So he's all of them in one. And so I've had people who despise him. They're like, I can't stand him. And then there's someone who's like, I love him, And I want you to be that emotionally invested. When I know I have you that emotionally invested, I did my job.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Yeah. Wow, that's.
They get emotional. When it comes to that bishop, they get emotionally invested.
Yeah. Which one? Going back, you made it mention it earlier, but which one was your first write out of all of these? But which one did you publish and put out first?
The first one was From My Prized Possession.
Okay, From My Prized Possession.
Yeah. Gotcha. That was the first one, and then Police King, which we were re-releasing, was the second one.
Gotcha.
But once we got with a publisher, the first one that I published was Scenes of a Billionaire Bishop. So we re-released it after we separated from the publisher and changed the cover, changed the title, changed the name.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Speaking of publisher, I have a lady in my church. Shout out to Nia. She's a publisher herself.
Mm-hmm.
So for you having to separate from the publisher, what would be the difference from having a publisher working with you in regards to not having one and doing it on your own?
I think with having a publisher, there's the benefit of having the exposure and getting more exposure, and not having a publisher, you have the freedom of doing what you want.
Yeah.
Because the publisher can tell you, hey, take that part out, I don't like that, change that title, write more, I want this many words in it, versus, I'm indie, I can write whatever I want. I can put whatever on the cover, use what title I want, and I don't have to split the money.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But you probably make more sales having a publisher, depending on how big the publisher is.
Yeah.
But and you probably have more exposure, but because they already have a built-in audience.
That makes sense.
So
it's
good in both ways, good and bad in both ways.
Yeah. I guess speak to our audience, those who are preparing to be upcoming authors, those who are afraid to take the next step and put out their work, who don't have a publisher, trying to figure out. I guess speak to those people and let them know how would you approach it not having a publisher.
I think a lot of with a lot of authors, they're too self-critical of themselves, and they question their, I don't think my book is good enough, or nobody's going to read this. No, write it, put it out there. Reach out to publishers if you want a publisher, and that's how you don't want to be an indie author. Reach out to the publishers. Don't stop reaching out to the publishers. Send them don't send them your entire book.
Yeah.
Send them 2 or 3 chapters of your book, and let them get a sample of your book.
Yeah.
And let them decide if they want to publish your book. There are publishers that will publish your book. You may not always get the big publishers. You may have to go with a smaller publisher first. Watch your contracts. Because you may sign a 2-year contract, you may sign a 5-year contract, you may sign a 3-book deal. Have somebody who's a lawyer look it over before you sign the contract.
That's important.
And if you want to be an indie author, learn the steps of putting your stuff on whatever avenue that you choose, like Amazon. If you choose to use Amazon, learn how to format your book for Amazon and how to put it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Ernest usually does it all. I'm sure I could do it, but he's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So he likes doing it. So I'm like, okay, bro, you got it. You do your thing. So but no, and a lot of authors just keep writing,
Yeah.
and that's the
I love
thing.
it.
Just keep writing and don't give up. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, I wrote this book, didn't nobody read it? Well, we wrote Police King, and he keeps running back before it was from my prized possessions, and we didn't get that many reads, but we kept pressing on.
Kept pressing, yeah.
And finally, it's Police King. I think that's probably like I said, it'll be out on the 22nd, and people are ready for that book now because they're anticipating, they're hearing the buzz about it, and I think that's going to be the our next breakout book, like the Bishop was.
Yeah.
That's going to take us to another level.
Yeah. So something I saw too as I was doing my homework and research and looking into social media. You are a guy who definitely promotes heavy content after content to make sure people know what you're doing. So how important is making sure as an author that you continue to advocate for yourself?
And it's important. And like I said, there are people out there who like that's the author I was telling you about, the podcast, Storm.
Yeah.
She's brutally honest, but I love her for it.
Yeah.
And she told me, she's like, your advertising is trash. And so let me know I need to step my game up. And that's what I pressed upon Anton. I was like, hey, let's advertise. I showed him my little steps how to advertise. I gave him the game on what best apps to use for advertising. And he's advertising 2-3 times a day. Between me and Ernest, we probably advertising 3 or 4 times a day. So
that's awesome.
That's the one thing you have to do because nobody's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
So if I don't promote myself, nobody's going to promote me.
Yeah. I totally agree. That's definitely important. Making sure that you are continually advocating for yourself and put yourself in the best position. I heard this quote from, we talked about the Pivot podcast earlier with Fred Taylor, Ryan, and Shannon. And this quote that Fred Taylor always says is that exposure leads to expansion.
Yes.
The moment you start, getting out there and exposing yourself, all that's going to do is just enlarge your territory and put you in rooms and spaces that you had no idea that you can be a part of because of you consistently advocating for yourself. So that's important. I was looking at your media. I'm like, it's real.
And you can't be comfortable. You always have to be uncomfortable because if you're comfortable, you're not doing anything. You're in your same lane. You want to step out. You got to step out of your lane and be uncomfortable to reach people that you never would reach before.
Yeah.
So if I don't get out of this lane and get out and reach the people that I normally wouldn't meet, I'm not gonna get the exposure.
Yes. As we wrap up the show, I guess for the fans, what's next for Mikah Reign? I know you mentioned some buzz. Are there any collaborations coming up, or are there any events that's coming up for you? What's next?
I got an event next May. It's called Books in the Boot. It'll be in Shreveport.
Okay.
Me and Ant are working on a couple of events here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he talked to you about attending those events. Hopefully we'll have one either at Texas Live or Globe Life Field. But for the most part, I'm looking to do some local events.
Yeah.
The next books that will be coming out, we have Police King, one on the 22nd. Juneteenth will be part 2, and then 4th of July will be part 3.
Wow.
After that, I'm doing a spinoff of the Bishop book. It'll be Seeds of Billionaire Bishop. It'll be the spinoff of that. Then I have my first paranormal book that I'm working on. Working on a paranormal book, and then I'm working on my first really, I can say, urban fiction, urban lit book. Because people are like, you haven't really done an urban, shoot 'em up, drug dealer book. So I'm doing that because my fans are asking me for it. So I might even make that book free.
Yeah.
Just because that's an avenue that I haven't stepped into or tapped in, just to see how they like it. I know we're going to do Prison Day 3, Cowboy book, the second part to that, and the fourth King book
Gotcha.
will be before the end of the year.
Gotcha. Knowing that you have children, are there any ideas of, I guess, children's books or books for teens, or have that idea ever crossed?
Never crossed my mind. If I was to do anything of that, I probably would do maybe like a coloring book. Because since I draw,
Yeah, the
and
sketch. Yeah, I
do a
get you.
sketchbook where they can, and it'd probably be more of like a superhero because I like superhero
Superheroes,
books
yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. So if I was to do anything, it'd be something of that manner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, brother,
And I
man.
appreciate you having me, man. This has been great, man. This has been great.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yes,
Definitely
sir.
Great
Yes, sir.
dialogue. Learned a lot about you. And then your artwork, man, is amazing. The
you.
imagery,
Thank you.
the stories, you breaking it down, the fan reactions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
This has been a blast.
Yes, sir. This is Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. And I can say today we definitely had another extraordinary conversation with Terrell Hayward, a.k.a. Mikah Reign. I can say, bro, just keep going.
Yes, sir.
Just keep moving forward. Like I mentioned earlier, man, fulfillment.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going there when we see y'all next week, right back in these orange seats. Peace. Thank you.